Last question. How do you view the American dream?
Gosh, that would be tough because I think you could think about the American dream from a couple different vantage points. One is for those who are actually born in America and oftentimes have places of privilege and almost take it for granted that they get to choose these things and have these opportunities. But then other perspective is friends of mine who I know who've come from other countries, come from difficult situations, for whom escaping poverty and or persecution and or corruption or violence, this place and the idea of the American dream is profound and life-giving, and it is transformational. So I think it really depends on where you're coming from to understand what the American dream really is all about. I forget how the math works, but I'm either second or third generation Slovak. So my great grandparents grew up in Slovakia. My grandparents moved here. My dad was born here. And so I grew up with all these traditions of these Slovak traditions. So I have at least a little bit of a memory of what it means to not be a person who fully assumes that everything in America is for them, but that my family members have had to work hard on a farm in Ohio, moved to California because one of the sons has an opportunity to study at a really good school. My dad serves in the military. His education is after the military. So I mean, I think this idea of having to make your way in the American dream, and it's actually something that isn't handed to you. It's something you actually have to work really, really hard for. I have a deep, as much as I can, from a place of privilege and having a fairly well-off middle-class family, at least an understanding and a appreciation for the fact that it's something you have to actually earn and work hard for, and it's not just a right, the right to the pursuit of happiness. Well, yeah, for some people, but for many people, that's not. They have to actually overcome obstacles and systemic injustice and racism and discrimination and all the things that are still woven in the midst of our culture to be able to achieve, or at least to get a chance at some version of what a quote unquote is the American dream. And then the spiritual side of me says it's a distraction. It's an idol. Because what God really wants for us is so much deeper, so much more profound, so much more important, so much more valuable, so much more life-giving than this American dream. So there's three different perspectives there.
Beautiful.
Okay.